I ended up selling my business, but now I had to do something to generate income. And at the time I wanted real income, like more income. And so I just jumped. I placed myself between a rock and a hard place. And I just had to make it work. And there were times things were so difficult that, can you pay the electricity bill this month? It was tough. Okay? Never give up, never give up. And I'm like, okay, never give up. Another open house. One more open house. Come on, Ho, just one more open house. And things started happening. How do you make the jump is a tough one. You just do it. Because if you don't, then you're just, and by the way, let's be clear about this. If you're considering switching career, okay, or doing something else, you're not happy with what you're doing. Because otherwise you wouldn't be considering this. So what's the hesitation? Your life sucks right now. Take the jump.
Have you ever considered how important it is to be genuine in real estate? To be yourself? Not to try to be like somebody else? Check this out. It's very important. I just had an incredible interview with Ho Chung. With Ho Chung, one of our fantastic educators, an incredible, successful real estate agent who sat down with me and he shared with me the importance of how individuality, being yourself, not trying to be like somebody else, is important. Along with that, he shared with us a whole bunch of tricks and trades of how to change your life, not just in the real estate field, but if you're already in real estate, how to make some small maneuvers, small changes, small adjustments, and watch if you don't go into that successful course of real estate. You don't want to miss this one. Hey Ho, thanks for being here today. Now listen, I've known you for a long time. I'm glad you're here. I want to ask you a few questions so that our audience can get something spectacular out of you. Some advice, your opinions, your experience on how to become successful, stuff like that. But before we do, I'm going to pump the brakes. I'm going to slow it down. And I want to start off with this. Now, you're a successful agent. You're a fantastic educator for US Realty Training. Where did your journey begin in real estate, and what attributes do you think are important to become a great real estate agent? Skill set.
Skill set. Well, you have the answer.
No.
Skill set.
Oh, okay.
People ask me oftentimes, hey, is it difficult to be successful in real estate? Or is this a good time to get into real estate? And my answer is usually yes, if you have skills. So in other words, if you're good at what you're doing, then you're going to be fine. And so I think what we're missing, in general, not only in real estate, I think people just get in to whatever field and they just want to go through the motions without really questioning and always wondering, how do I become better? How do I become better? Write that down.
That's good. Yeah, but what did you learn from early years, before real estate? Say that your parents taught you, work ethic, things like that. What did you bring from your childhood, from your teenage years to this business? What do you have to have inside to make this happen?
You know, it's adaptation. I was born in Korea. Then at 6 years old, my parents had the brilliant idea of moving to Brazil. And you wonder, why the hell Brazil?
Brazil, yeah.
They couldn't get a visa to US. And so Brazil, it was an easier visa.
How old were you when you went to Brazil?
6 years old.
Holy moly.
So I grew up in Brazil, adapting to a whole new world. And once we figured out we're done, let's go to America. So I'm here in California now, going through college, and I haven't left since. So throughout these years, my formative years and adapting, learning different languages, one thing I think I learned is learn how to learn.
Oh, I like that.
Okay?
Learn how to learn.
Yeah. And by the way, I think going through college and school, it doesn't matter the subject, the major. You learn how to learn. And so when you get into real estate or any field, you got to learn something. So do you know how to learn?
I like that. But as you're going through college and moving around the whole entire globe, what do you think is the most important thing you learned, say, to deal with different cultures, to deal with different types of people? Because you've been all over the place. Now, once you arrive here in the United States, I mean, especially here in Los Angeles, there's a whole bunch of different cultures. How do you manage that? How do you?
Well, you just deal with it.
What does that mean?
You just deal with it. I went to community college, and half of the people are like Koreans, and then we have Hispanic, and we have Americans, and we have all kinds. I was like, okay. So they taught me some Spanish. I already speak Korean. So just adapt.
Got it. So let's put that into play with your real estate career. How did that help you with your real estate career? And do you have to know multiple languages to be successful?
Yeah. Speaking multiple languages is actually a skill, and you have to learn. You don't buy it. Can you just buy it? You don't go to the store, hey,
Sell me Spanish.
Sell me Spanish memories I can install in your...
Yeah.
No, it doesn't. And so I realize intelligent, smart, wealthy people, they value skill. They don't value the watch or the shoes that I wear. They already have better. Okay, so I think in an industry, and we're in the service industry, we serve our clients. And I think that level of skill, and language is just one of them, but skill.
How about those who want to get their real estate license and English isn't their first language, man? Wait, yeah, English isn't their first language. It's their second language, so it can be difficult. Now, I've taught thousands of students, and I've had a whole bunch who English was their second language. Some of them became super successful. Some of them had difficulty with it. What's your take on English not being your first language and getting your license?
Perfect timing, because just last week in my Beverly Hills class, one of the students, English is her second language, and quite a bit of heavy accent. Okay? And she was afraid that, and she can read and write English, no problem. She was afraid her accent would get on the way. And I just told her, look, I understand everything you're saying. And I think if you speak clearly and slowly, your accent is actually an asset. Okay? Because people know you already speak more than English.
Right.
Okay? Just think about that.
Yeah.
Right? So why hold that against you? And I think for those that have accent, if you have an accent, and I do, by the way, speak slower and clearer, and you'll become much charming.
I like that. I too had a student once, many years ago, who had a heavy accent. English was her second language. Let me share this with you. And she came to my classes, and it was so thick, I didn't think she was going to pass the state exam. I said, there's no way she'll pass the state exam. I said, poor thing. I really was rooting for her. I really, really liked her. And classes were over. She went to take the state exam. She came back to visit me after she took the state exam to show me her real estate license, man. I'm like, wow. I said, I will never doubt anybody ever again. English is your second language, your third language. I don't give a hoot. It's all about your passion inside and how bad you want something. So I said, whoa, I'll never question anybody's abilities. I thought that was fantastic. How does somebody make the jump? Because you've done a lot in your life, right? You've done, let's see here. Well, you tell me, what have you done in your life as far as careers? Why am I going to tell you? You know what you did. And how did you jump into real estate?
I had to. I ended up selling my business. I had now some money, but now I had to do something to generate income. And at the time I wanted real income, like more income. And so I just jumped. I placed myself between a rock and a hard place. And I just had to make it work. And there were times things were so difficult that, like, can you pay the electricity bill this month? It was tough. Okay? But, never give up, never give up. And I'm like, okay, never give up. Another open house. One more open house. Come on, Ho, just one more open house. And things started happening. Okay? And so, how do you make the jump is a tough one. You just do it. Because if you don't, then you're just, and by the way, let's be clear about this. If you're considering switching career, okay, or doing something else, you're not happy with what you're doing. You're not happy where you are. Because otherwise you wouldn't be considering this. So what's the hesitation? Your life sucks right now. Take the jump. Pick your difficult.
So the minute you have that question mark in your head, consideration, you might as well go for the alternative.
Yeah.
All right.
Think, oh, I'm thinking of losing weight because it's heavy, like harder to breathe. My clothes don't fit me well. I don't want to be, better looking, healthier. So that's difficult, right? It's also difficult to lose weight. Pick your difficult.
Uh-huh. Good philosophy, man. Good philosophy. Hey, let's talk about the start of your career because you just brought that up, and that was pretty cool. That you were having trouble at the beginning when you were transitioning. I'm actually intrigued about that part. I think a lot of real estate agents go through that when they start. Maybe not as drastic, but how long did it take you to get your first deal? And when did you start becoming like confident? Like, damn, I'm making it.
Okay, I love that question. It took me 11 months for my first sale.
Doesn't mean it has to take 11 months.
So it was month number 5 or 6. I'm frustrated. I'm writing offers. Nothing is happening. I'm showing houses. Nothing is happening. I'm walking around the office. Hey, you've been doing this for a while. How long did it take for your first deal? And the seasoned agent tells me, a year. And then another agent, it's always a year. And I bought into it.
Oh, you did.
I bought into it, and that's what happened. So now I know better. When I mentor new agents, we have expectations. Robert, let's go get a listing every month, a new listing every month, starting today. Well, how do we do that? Like, let's do it. It's not how. I'm sure there are thousands of doors. One of them is going to list tomorrow. We just have to get there before they know they're moving. Right. Let's go. And so most of the agents that I mentor, it doesn't take them a year. They're 3, 4, 5 months, 6 months at worst.
Although I've seen some do it in a couple of months.
Sure.
Yes. You're in control of what's going to happen in the near future or in the far future, but you bought into it. That was
right. And so as we coach them, as we lead them, we got to push them. I believe in my mentees more than they believe in themselves.
That's pretty cool, man. So you encourage them.
Yeah. Actually, you know what? Just like when you said, regardless of the accent, you don't know who's going to pass. They could all pass the exam. Right? That reminded me. When new agents join companies and I see them, some agents have this habit of like, okay, she's going to make it. He's not going to make it. Right? How dare you?
Right.
Who do you think you are? How dare you, right? Our job is to provide the culture and the space for them to grow to whatever they could possibly grow to, right? So in my mind, it was like everyone could be a top producer.
Of course.
Even you.
What makes you so confident in your business? What makes you think that Ho Chung has what it takes? What makes you so polished?
I'm not sure what you mean.
Do you consider yourself together? Like, hey,
no, not at all. I'm just being myself. And I guess where you're going with this, I have the habit of walking into a room, like a building or a business, as if I own the place. Okay, so you walk into the restaurant. Well, I'm gonna dine here. I'm the boss tonight. I walk into my brokerage. A lot of agents think they work for the broker. No, I walk into the office. The broker works for me.
Oh.
The broker is reviewing my files. They're doing the work. I'm working for my clients. So the mindset and the view, I think it's a little different, okay? And in terms of confidence, I don't think that equates to confidence. The confidence really comes from knowledge and excellence. Have you seen someone talk about any topic in particular that they are like expert? Okay, they can go hours, and they'll deliver the message with conviction, like a preacher. Okay, and so are we at that level of expertise in what we do? And that's what I push my agents and like students to do. The student in the class, they're really soft-spoken. Am I ready? You know, don't worry about it. But I bet if they were to talk about, I don't know, there was a girl there, she's a yoga instructor. It's like, if you tell me about yoga, she'll be a totally different person.
Right.
And so, to answer your question, the confidence and all that, I think it comes from competence and skill, like excellence. And so let's try to achieve that.
Got it. But let's talk about what you said earlier in that answer, because that was a great answer. But you hit on something that I want to kind of go into. You immediately said, "I just be myself." You said, "I just be myself." I think we overlooked that. Can you explain more to those who are watching? What does it mean to just be yourself? And remember, you fell for that 1 year thing. You fell into that trap. Is there a mold of a real estate agent that you have to act this way, you have to look this way, you have to do it this way, or can they just be themselves?
Actually, okay, so now...
how you like them
right.
apples? Good question, huh? It's a good question.
I think people, in general, we watch TV and we have a vision of what a real estate agent is.
Right, that's where I was going.
Someone outspoken, well-groomed, very sociable, like a social butterfly. That's good for show, for TV. And in real life, you know it and I know it.
Right.
There are all kinds of people in real estate that are doing well. And I think what they each have done is this. So I'm just adding clarity and purpose to this conversation.
Good. We like that.
We're all fascinating people. Robert, you fascinate your Robert way, your Rico way. I'm fascinating in a different way. And because I see you being successful and I want to mimic what Robert does, it doesn't work for me. Okay, so if you know you can sing and you can't dance, stop dancing. Be a better singer. So if we were to each find out how we fascinate and take that to the next level, confidence is right there.
Wow. That's actually pretty powerful. I never heard it that way.
Fascination.
Yeah. Where'd you learn all this stuff? Where'd you learn all this philosophy?
Learning.
Yeah, well, who taught it to you? I mean, it's really a good philosophy.
There's an author, Hogshead, I forgot her first name. Her book is called How to Fascinate. And her mission in life was to telling people, quit trying to be who you suck being.
Oh, wait, see that again?
Quit trying to be who you suck being. Like you suck at this, then stop doing it.
All right.
Like find something that it's a little more, like your own flavor.
Ooh.
Okay. And real estate agents post a lot on social media, and they want to mimic other real estate agents. I say, look, stop doing that. I want to see a little more flavor. Okay, Robert Rico, real estate agent. Who is Robert?
Right.
I want to know. And if I connect with that, I'm going to pick up my phone. Hey, Robert, I want to list my house with you.
Right.
Otherwise, it's just, hey, new listing. Come visit my open house. Right. Blah, blah. It's just another agent.
Yeah, we're not everybody's favorite. I get that. That's for sure. I've had people tell me, or students tell me, man, I thought you were crazy. They called me crazy. They thought, man, when I first met you, I thought you were nuts. I've had clients call me, what's the word? Snarky. And snarky, so, and then I've had several just come back.
But that's you.
That's me.
And there's a ton of people that love you and trust you and admire you.
Right. I have one to say, hey, I love your candor, right? I tell it like it is, right? It is what it is, man. Real estate's black and white when it comes to contracts, hey. Anyways, yeah, people are different.
Actually, so speaking of that, in the early, like in 2013, 2014, I was hosting a lot of open houses. That was my way of prospecting. And everywhere I hosted an open house, there was an agent that dominated that market. They do a lot of geographic farming. And I always thought, I'm a newbie, who the hell is going to hire me? They'll probably call these other agents. Well, shortly after, I ended up listing 2 properties from a homeowner that lives in that farm, and she hated that agent. She couldn't stand him. And so instead, she hired me to list her 2 properties. And then I thought, okay, there's business for everyone.
Right. So you went into somebody's farm and did your own sowing of your seeds. Hey, so speaking of that, was that your first client?
That was actually my very first listing.
Really? So share with us how'd you get it? Did they find you? You found them? Or did you knock on their door? What did you do?
Story time. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Open house. Her name is Ida. Ida comes to my open house. She was about 70 years old.
That's the homeowner.
Homeowner.
Got it.
And she goes, oh, I'm kind of tired. Where can I sit? I said, oh, sit here in the balcony, like outside, backyard. Would you like some Chardonnay?
Chardonnay?
And she's like, do you actually have wine? I say, actually, you know what? I don't, but I just asked. But if you do, I'll get some. So we chit chat. Oh, how's the market? Seems like it's crazy. You have a lot of visitors here. You know, I have a house in Harbor City I'm thinking of selling, but it's such a little house. I think I'll just sell it on my own. It's like, wait, Ida, what are you talking about? Where is this property? It's like, I'm so tired. I need to go now. And she left. And I'm like, don't go. Let's talk about this listing. Luckily, she told me through the conversation where she lived. So I closed my open house, run to the office, look up the address, look up her address, and then I get her last name. And then I look at all the other properties she owns.
Don't say the last name.
No.
All right.
She owns, at the time, 9 properties, and 2 of them were in Harbor City. So I print out that, knock on her door that same day. Ida, which one is it?
No way.
And she was like, how did you know where I live? I was like, you just told me. Look, anyways, which one is it? Well, it's this one. Well, give me the keys. I don't even have a listing agreement. I hope my broker is not listening to this. Give me the keys. I'll find your buyer. I said, okay, I guess. And she handed me the keys.
Wow.
And the next day I had an offer.
What?
Really low offer. She didn't take it.
Wait, but she signed the listing.
No, I just brought an offer.
Got it.
And then they say, you don't like this price? I say, well, Ida, that was the best I could do in 24 hours. If you want better results, sign here. The listing agreement. I said, well, I don't want you, I hate when your realtors tie me up on contracts. I said, I need 7 days, that's it. Sign here. 7 days, okay. So in 7 days, I got her, I don't know, 7 offers, little better, but quite not happy. I was like, okay, I know what you exactly want now. Let's just extend the listing period. I just need more time to find that buyer. And by now, I'm delivering results. And so she felt comfortable to signing an actual listing agreement, 6 months.
Well, that goes back to confidence. I mean, you actually went to her door.
Yeah,
What gave you that initiative to say, you know what? I'm gonna go back to my office, pick up some tools, and I'm gonna head over to her house.
Well, I mean, get it done.
The average person wouldn't. I would assume the average person wouldn't be that proactive. I dig your style. Why did you do that?
I don't know. I just do it like that.
Because that's you. It goes back to you're just being you.
And the average person are average because that's what they are.
Wow. Let's talk about not being average. Let's talk about not being average some more, man. You're a great educator with US Realty Training. You teach practice, principles, and finance for us here in Beverly Hills.
Which I enjoy, by the way.
Do you?
A lot.
Yeah, and you get raving reviews. So you see these students in front of y'all, and often they want to change their career, which means they want to change their life. How do you encourage somebody who has doubt, man? Because a lot of these, I've done this for a long time. Again, I've taught thousands. And you can see it in their eyes. Is this for me? Is this for me? What am I doing here?
I go for the throat, meaning.
All right, hold on, let's take a pause here. Not meaning. What do you mean by that? You go for the throat. Easy.
I usually start off every new session, the very first session, and I just make them realize why they are here. This is 7 p.m. on a weeknight. Don't you have better stuff to do? Why are you here? Let me guess. You hate your life right now.
You do go for the throat.
Uh-huh.
All right.
So let's be very clear. If you were happy with your job, if you were happy with your income, you wouldn't be here. Let's all agree on that. All right, now you want change. I'm here to guide you and help you change. Let me help you help yourself. So you help me help you. And if that's not motivation, I don't like this word motivation actually.
Okay.
Motivation, it's movement, right? You gotta have something outside cause you to move. If you're not happy where you are, you need someone to tell you to move.
No, I'm with you. I did a whole video on motivation. I think it's overrated, man.
Yeah.
Motivation is just a thought. Then it goes into action. And then
Yes.
And then the action has to be consistent, which is the discipline. Mm-hmm. That's why I call it MAD. Motivation is just the start, then action, then discipline. How about that? I teach you something today, MAD. Motivation, action, discipline.
And so when I speak like that, they get mad.
Yeah.
Which is then.
How do the agents, how do the future agents, meaning the students, when you have this conversation with them, how do they take it?
Well, everyone takes it differently. Most of them are like, okay, I needed to hear that.
Yeah.
So there's that come to Jesus moment.
That's powerful.
Some don't like my approach, but that's okay. I can't please everyone.
Right.
And if they're not ready, if they're not being coachable, then I don't know when they'll be ready. So until then, they'll just suffer where they are.
What's been the biggest aha moment for a student that you've seen in your classroom?
Well, in terms of materials and things, they looked at the online coursework and they find it just, okay, quiz. But when I shared the real life scenarios, okay, canceled escrows, people getting into lawsuits, horror stories, happy endings, it's a mix, right? They start seeing real estate as a very exciting, fascinating industry. Something they didn't think it would be. Because pretty much what they know about real estate is what they've seen on TV or what their image of a real estate agent is. And there's so much more to it than that.
Do you give them the point of view of the difference between possibility and probability in real estate?
No, I never thought of it that way. So
No?
enlighten me on that.
Yeah, I like that. I actually use that all the time.
Okay.
My father taught me that years ago. Is it possible, for example, is it possible for me to win the lottery? It's possible. Is it probable? Nah, right?
Okay.
Probabilities are, is it possible to get your license? Yeah, it's possible. Is it probable? Well, sure it is. Just study and pass a test. Is it possible to get a client within the first 3 months? Yeah, it's possible. Is it probable? Well, sure. Why not? Depends on, like you said, everybody's different. So I actually go there. I don't know if you ever thought about that. This isn't a business where it's like hitting the lottery. It's not about luck.
No, it's not. Yeah.
So can you expand on that? Do you give that approach? Are you realistic with them? Do you tell them you're not going to do 100 deals in 1 year because it's not probable?
Well, the only time I'm realistic about is the setting of goals. Goal
Right.
setting.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Right? And let's start baby steps.
Okay.
Right? And so I say, hey, how about a goal of 1 listing every month?
That's possible and that's probable.
Okay. And what does it take to achieve that, to hit that goal? Let's work on the skill and the knowledge and all that. But it's not like let's make $1 million in our first year.
It's possible, but not probable.
Yeah, and I ask for those that actually have, I actually go around the class. Hey, what would be a good dollar amount for your first year? And funny enough, everybody says $100,000. I don't know what's this 5-figure thing?
Yeah.
Or 6-figure.
That sounds nice, man.
And every now and then there's someone that says $1 million. I say, okay, ballsy, I like that. And I need to burst their bubble. Have you ever made $1 million? Do you know what it feels like to make $1 million? No. Well, the probability now goes lower. Okay? And so I just tell them, look, there's nothing wrong with having a goal of $1 million and shooting for the moon and landing in the star. And if you actually land in the star and do something like 800,000 instead of 1 million, awesome. Right. The danger is most of us end up landing in the second floor, first floor. And now that becomes a habit of not hitting your goals. So now your mind is just blocked. Why set goals? I never hit them.
Right.
So with my business coach, I was setting my goals. Like, what did you make last year? Okay, $80,000. Well, let's tweak it. How can we increase it? Let's set it to 120. No, 150. It's almost double. And the following year, I made 140. Okay, almost hit the goal. But it wasn't like, not even close. Okay, so I went up to like $250,000, 300,000. And then my coach says, let's double it. What? Now it's 600,000. And that for me felt like my drunk monkey, I don't think so. I never made that much money before. And I never hit it. And so I'm convinced the level of income that we have, what we get, is what we're used to. And I think you've heard of the term financial thermostat.
Yeah.
Right? Like, we have different financial thermostats. If I say, hey, Robert, let's take the family to a vacation, and then your image of what that is and mine could be different, right? So I help students realize the difference.
Another question for you, real quick on this one. Can anybody make it in real estate?
Yes.
Yeah? That's the answer.
Yes.
All right, cool. Go to the next one.
Anyone that is willing to put in the effort and time and learn and become good.
All right. Short and sweet.
You know, getting a license alone doesn't get you anything.
Right.
Oh, I'm a people person. I have a lot of friends. No, not enough.
Right. Same thing when I say agents will say, well, I know the contracts, the disclosures, I know all that backwards. Yeah, but if you have nobody to put a name on, what's the point? So it goes both ways, knowing the material and being a people person, I guess. You know, I tell my students often, and other realtors who I mentored before, do you like people? And they say, yeah, I like people. I said, well, hell, better is, do they like you? And that's the bigger point. They gotta like you, man. So lighten up and make sure you're at least approachable, man. You know, smell good, look good, have a good hair day, right? I'm teasing, but
no, but it's important.
But be confident, man. Yeah, look, you know, feel good. You know. Anyways, listen, this industry, real estate. When I first got in it, I was a little intimidated because there were so many agents out there. And this was back almost 30 years ago. There's still a lot of agents out there, Ho.
There's more.
So should a new agent who comes in excited, should they be intimidated by how many are out there, the competition?
Well, of course not. But I can see how new agents can't help but be feeling intimidated. Speaking of intimidation, I call this bullying, by the way. A lot of old timers, they see new agents and they know they're new because they can see the license number. Oh, Robert, you just got your license, huh? I've been doing this for 30 years, you know? And a lot of new agents, they're like, oh, wow, okay, so I have a long ways to go. And what I have to tell them is this. Don't need to be intimidated. I've been golfing for more than 35 years.
You, Ho Chung, have been golfing 35 years?
I've been golfing for more than 35 years. And I still suck.
Do you?
Okay. And so I don't care if you've been doing something for a long time. Were you good at what you did? That nobody talks about. You know, they just show, oh, look at my license number, 009, blah, blah. Good for you.
Right.
And so I say, look, I see a lot of new agents that within the first 5 years, they achieve incredible results. Yeah. More than what someone that has been doing something for 20 years, you know.
Yeah, I think you and I are both on the same page. I believe in quality of years, not
Sure.
quantity of years.
Yes.
I've had people that I've known who've had their license 20 times, and then I ask them, well, how many deals have you done in those 20 years? Oh, maybe 10. And I know people who have had their license 1 year, and they've done 7, 8, 9 deals, right? So it's the quality of the years, the experience.
Real estate it's tough.
Yeah.
Okay? It's simple, but not easy. And it's a very humbling, it's just as humbling as golf.
How so?
You think it's easy. I just got my license. And I see these agents driving fancy cars after selling houses. I can't do this. And they go and get a license. And in the golf world, I'll just go to the golf store and get myself a set of clubs. That ball, try hitting that little ball sitting there doing nothing, laughing at you. It's humbling.
Yeah, yeah. And you look the part, you wear those funny pants and a funny hat, you look like you can hit it, but you can't hit it.
Yep.
Hey, listen, if you could sit down with a brand new agent, right? Brand new, let's assume it's me, right? And I come, hey, Ho, and I sit down in your office, right? I come in, hey, oh, look, I got my license. What's the first piece of advice you're going to give me?
Well, if it's just one.
Yeah, just
All
one.
right, Robert, welcome to the exciting world of real estate.
Oh, yeah, what do I have to look forward to, Ho?
A lot of excitement. And so we're going to get busy. There's going to be a lot of things to learn. But I need you to promise me something. No matter how tough and difficult things get, you're not giving up. Okay? Because don't be a quitter. The only time you want to be a quitter is if you want to quit drinking or smoking or gambling. Otherwise, you don't want to be a quitter.
Right.
Robert, there are two types of agents. The ones that succeed and the ones that quit.
Ooh. The ones that succeed and the one that quits.
And in my mind, there's always two types of people, two types of engineers, two types of this, two types of everything. Winners and losers. Okay, so the winners are the ones that succeed. And the losers are the ones that quit.
Quit.
And so, let's do this. And by the way, let's be very realistic. Maybe real estate is not for you, but there's only one way to find out. Let's do this.
Yeah. It goes back to the one of my favorite quotes by Wayne Gretzky. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
We have a lot to learn from the athletes, the pro athletes, because they do things in their level, the highest possible level.
Right.
And yeah, we in the real estate industry, I don't think most people do play at that pro level.
Speaking of that, real estate, there's ups and downs. You got your average, you got your below average, people who are just doing it. People are doing it with passion and succeeding. It's changed a lot over the years. Real estate's changed a lot over the years, right? Technology. Back in the day, where I remember, we had newspapers we would put our ads on.
Oh, yeah. How about the MLS that didn't exist?
The MLS that didn't exist. Man, so much stuff. We didn't have, the map thing, what do you call it nowadays? The
GPS.
GPS.
Oh, we had Thomas Guide.
We had Thomas Guide. And those who aren't familiar with the Thomas Guide, it's actually a book, and you got to find the street, and you got to Google it, Thomas Guide. What do you do still in your business today that was popular back then, that was effective back in the old school times, that people aren't doing anymore? I'll give you an example. I interviewed somebody who was fantastic. He was one of my students. Now he's like one of the top in Beverly Hills. He still highly believes in door knocking. That's an old school habit. Anything like that you do that you say, you know what, I'm never going to stop doing this from the old school days. It still works.
I'll be honest, I don't door knock. Not because I don't think that it doesn't work. It's just not for me.
Yeah, I've never done it either.
My legs and...
Thought you were a golfer.
One thing I know that still works for me is human interaction. And the part of the approach, and by the way, door knocking, the mentees that I have, several of them, their first listing came from door knocking.
So that's still powerful.
Yes.
All right. It's just not.
And there was one, hey Christian, how many doors did you knock for until this seller? It's like 545 doors. 545th door was the one. And so if you door knock, I have this to say. You're tired, end of the day, Robert, just one more door. That might be the one. If not, okay, just one more. Because that might be the one. Because you're going to kick yourself if you just quit now, and tomorrow there's a sign on the yard on that next door. One more door.
I like that.
Right? But for me, it's really figuring out people's pain, right? Everyone has pain. So let's say somebody had a hip surgery and they still live in a 3-story townhouse. That's not working. And my job is to make their quality of life better. You know, and speaking of quality of life, people talk about this when you're about to die. You know, cancer patients, quality of life, quality of life. Why don't we do this when we're alive and well? So why are you tolerating? Let's go to a condo, elevator. So yeah, figuring out, understanding people's needs.
Quality of life. What's the most powerful moment in your career that you'll never forget? I mean, you probably haven't had a discussion like this in a while. So I'm assuming I'm taking you back to your career and you're reflecting on it, which is kind of neat when we reflect on life. But now we're reflecting on how far you've come. Oh, you've come a long way. I think you've cutting yourself a little short. I think you should be proud of what you've done. What is the most powerful moment in your career that you'll never forget?
I don't know, I'm just thinking of transactions.
No. I'm talking about changing people's lives.
I mean, there are several. There's one agent that I was mentoring. Say, Stephanie, call people you know. Well, everyone I know is in New York. So, well, New York are people. And what did you do in New York? I was a junior financial advisor. Wait, so you know a lot of millionaires? Yeah. Well, call them and say hi. And she was fighting it, but she finally did it. A week later, she lands on a $3 million fixer in Brentwood. She takes a 6% listing, dual agency.
Wow.
Her first deal is a $180,000 commission check.
$180,000 commission check.
Okay, and you never know where your next deal is coming from. It could be just a phone call. Hey, Robert, how you been? I just wanted to say hi. All good? All good. Good. Click. That's it.
But of course,
it could be that.
Of course, they'll know you're in the real estate.
Of course,
field,
yes,
you have to, of course, let them know that. Yeah, so tell the whole world what you're doing, of course.
And so I think it's like very impactful, and I think it's insane. Just like a simple phone call can lead to that massive result. You know, it's just, we deal with people. Yeah. Now, of course, Michael, the client, fully entrusted and, had faith in her competence and excellence.
Got it. Hey, listen, if someone who's listening right now has doubts about this career, like, I don't have the right personality, I'm not a people person, I'm not outgoing, right? What would you tell them?
Well, that's a tough one, Robert. Yeah. If you're telling me you're wrong, I can't argue.
Well, not that they're wrong. They're saying I don't have a network. I don't have this.
So that's an uphill. But I want you to understand that that's not what it takes. It takes getting people to trust you, find your flavor, and put that to work for you. Like, I'm not a people person, blah, 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 blah. You don't have to be. One of the top giant producers in San Diego, he was, I think, the CEO of one of the, I saw him on stage, and I'm thinking, man, this guy must be a speaker. He was on stage, and I'm like, how the hell do you get all this business? He can't even talk.
Really?
I mean, he can talk, but it wasn't entertaining. And I'm
Right.
that's not the image of a top producer
Right.
that I had.
Right.
And he goes on and says, my calendar is my boss. My calendar tells me what to do every day, all day. And there's a lot of people relying on me to do what I have to do. So I just do it.
We're almost going to wrap this up. If you can give an agent who's struggling right now one good piece of advice that could probably change their career, what would you tell them?
I've been there. I've struggled. And my life completely changed when one of the months I had 6 escrows.
In 1 month?
And that's when I realized, in my mind, there's not a problem that a few escrows can't solve. Okay? And so just recently, I was like panicking, and I'm like, okay, all right, I don't have any escrows right now. And instead of just panicking, and I'm just chanting to myself, oh, there's no problem a few escrows can't solve. Where's the escrow? And I'm looking at my pipeline report. I'm like, oh, I haven't spoken to him in a while. Oh, let's get back to work. It's getting back to work, right? I have a listing coming up.
Jeez.
So, yeah, if you're struggling and you feel like you have too much on your plate because of personal life and you're taking care of elderly, sick parents, they all have excuses. And you're not doing anything. That's why you don't have results. And so put that aside, because that's not changing. Let's do something different today that you didn't do yesterday.
Yeah, it's funny how you said it. It's perfect. There's nothing, even one escrow can't change your position, your situation. One escrow can throw $40,000 in your bank account.
Yeah, we're in Southern California.
And it changes your life. At least for the moment. You're absolutely right. It's not that it's feast or famine, but sometimes
sometimes it is.
Sometimes it is, right. But if you learn to balance yourself and budget yourself, but I like 2, 3, 4 escrows, like 6 escrows.
Welcome to exciting world of real estate. This is where you can have your hands on a few $100,000 out of nowhere. Not out of nowhere. These are results from things that you've been doing, right. But the stars line up.
Right. You can make a lot of money in this business, right? It'll change your life. Change my life. Change
Absolutely.
my life. Last question, Ho. And this is not on my list. This is off the record. What drives you, man? What drives you? And I want you to think about that. What? I don't even want to put ideas in your head. What drives you?
So maybe you're asking me what's my big why.
That's right. I almost wrote that down, but I'd rather say, what drives you?
I have an addiction. I have an addiction to nice things. And nice things cost money. I'm just...
That's it?
That's it.
Okay, nothing wrong with that. That's what drives you.
A
lifestyle drives you. Your lifestyle drives you.
And that, in turn, funds the life that I want to have. And also those around me. Okay?
Got it.
And I need to set this by example to people I mentor and, things like that. And also another thing that drives me, so the financial part is that. Another one is, the reason I like the teaching part, the education, the training part, I want to be the mentor to everyone that I wasn't for my daughters. And my kids, not that, I was never placed in a position where I could mentor them. They always look up to some other outsider, not a family member or a father. And so I believe that by me being the best mentor possible, the universe is going to align my kids with an incredible mentor. Karma, right?
Yeah. I actually believe in karma, yeah.
Okay. And so that's another drive. And, you know,
Yeah, that's fantastic. Ask me what drives me.
what drives you?
Oh, good question. When I first got started, what drove me was my kids. And they were small back then, right? My wife and I wanted to give them everything, material things. We'd close a deal, and I remember this particular day, we closed the deal, and we went over to the TV store, you know, and I told the kids, pick anyone you want, And they did, and we took it home that day, right? Cash. So you're right, the material things. But more importantly, what drives me is the challenge of finding somebody's home, their future, right? If somebody says, God, if I just had a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house in this area for my kids to go to school in this area, I say, you know what? Challenge. I'm going to find it for you. That used to drive me. I got addicted to that part too.
Yeah, that's exciting too, because the smile on their faces.
Or the challenge of finding that needle in the haystack, man. You know, it's like, I'm going to do it. I'm not average. I'm better than that, and I'm going to do it for you. That used to drive me.
And you know, speaking of which, I think listing agents have it easy. Listing a property on the market, it'll sell. Finding a replacement property for that seller, now I'm looking for, it's much harder.
It is. I agree with you, man.
It's not the fact that you have to just drive around and show houses, but the matchmaking part is a lot more difficult.
Yeah.
So I think, and I'm grateful for all the agents that work with buyers out there, seriously.
Yeah, I was a buyer's agent, and I used to love it. My wife used to love listing. I used to love the buying side. More work, but I used to enjoy it. It almost seems like you tasted the fruits of victory.
Sure.
And it was sweeter.
Yes, yes,
right? It was
yes.
sweeter, right? You know,
And it's more exciting.
to me.
No, let's go shopping for something. Right. You get a new car, new clothes, you're more excited.
Right.
I mean, we don't sell things like that, but when you sell a house, all the memories gone, and have to pack and move.
Ho, thanks for sharing your insight, man. This is fantastic.
My pleasure.
I think the students and the viewers are going to get tons out of it. Any closing remarks?
I'm grateful for you, Robert.
Yeah. I'm grateful for you.
You've created a platform, incredible platform. It was not just a real estate training school.
No.
Okay, it's the presence on social media. Your videos on YouTube, dude, it's a lot of info there. Yeah. A lot of good info. And if anyone prep for state exam or taking courses, if you were to marathon YouTube channel, the US Realty Training, dude, you'll be a lot ahead of other agents. So I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for the opportunity, and I don't know, I love teaching.
You're the best. You're the best. You can find Ho Chung working for US Realty Training. It gives his heart and soul to you. Thanks again, Ho.
Thank you. And see you soon.